Good morning. I've been working on these banner embellishments, so I thought I'd turn the camera on and give you a little video of how I've been making these. So I start out with these little flag bottoms, kind of like the pennant style here, and I'll just cut a little triangle off the bottom. So let me show you how I do that real quick. So I brought my trimmer over here, and I'm going to cut these down to a good size. I start by doing about a little less than a 1-inch width here, and then I'll flip it over and cut it to the length to be about a little less than 1.5 inch. And this size seems to work pretty good. So to make these look more like a little pennant, I cut a little slit up just a little bit in the very center, and then I'll cut over from each edge. And it gives it the perfect little indentation there to look just like a little pennant. So next I'm going to need a little base to glue these on. I've got a nice little length here and a little width, and I'll show you the size I cut these down to. I'll bring my trimmer back over here, and these are going to be cut to 1 inch by 3.5 inches. And you can use any kind of background you like, just paper for this, but I just happen to choose a wood grain for this. So I'm going to cut it over to 3.5 inches on this side, and we'll have a nice size base. Before I start gluing these down, I like to lay the little flags along it and kind of see what colors are going to look good together. So on this one, I've kind of got a blue in the middle, and I'm going to put some pinks on each side. And then I kind of want a darker color for each end piece, and I think that's going to look well together. So I'll pull these back and then bring my glue over. And I just like to use the tacky glue for this. I'll put a little on the edge of each one and then start lining it up. This tacky glue seems to hold really well. I'll start here by putting this dark blue piece on and kind of line it up on the edge. And then I'll do the same thing with this next piece. When I'm using my tacky glue, I like to keep it upside down in this old little container that I've had for years and years. That way I don't have to shake it down every time. So on this next piece, I'm going to go to the other side and glue it down. So then when I bring it around, it'll kind of match up evenly. And then on this very last piece, I just want to make sure everything's lined up evenly, so it has a nice little edging. And I think that looks so cute. Just a little sweet banner. Okay, for this next part, I like to have a little saying or a quote to put in that very middle to kind of cover that up. So today I'm going to bring over, I've got some stickers here that I've had for a while. And I think I'm going to use this beauty one here. I've got a little teal rectangle that I think that's going to fit on perfectly. So I'm going to peel it off and I'll attach it to my little rectangle. I think that's going to look nice there. So I'm just going to add some tacky glue to the back, just the very bottom part, and kind of smooth it out here a little bit so the glue doesn't come up above. For the next part, I like to add a couple little buttons to each side. So I'm going to use these teal ones that kind of match the rectangle color. And again, I'm just going to use the tacky glue for both of these. It looks like I need to move over my rectangle just a little bit to center it up, so I'll do that now while it's still a little wet. We'll smooth that down, straighten these up, and I think this turned out pretty cute. I'm going to trim each edge up just a little bit here so that's not hanging over. But I think it turned out nice. Now I want to show you one other way that you can do these that you wouldn't have to use a quote or a saying at the top. I'm going to start out the same way and go ahead and pick my little flags for the bottom here. I think that looks pretty nice, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these on real quick. And I'll try to speed this up a little bit. For this one, I think I'm going to add a little flower to the center. I've been working on these, and it's two little die-cut flowers that I add a little jewel to the middle. And I think these might be really cute, just put in the center. To make these flowers, I've got a little die here that I'll just run through my machine. And I just run it through twice since I've only got one flower die cut here. But then I'll get two flowers. I'll show you real quick. And I'll just use my tacky glue and put a little bit in the center. And then I'll put the other one on top. Now sometimes it takes just a second or two to get it lined up because I don't want any blank space in between. But then I'll get it lined up eventually here. And then I'll add a little jewel into the middle of it. And I'll just pick a purple one here to go in this one so it'll match pretty. And again, using the tacky glue, it doesn't take much. And just put my jewel in the center. So I think one of these would look really cute on top. I'll see which one we like the best here. Try the pink one. I'm going to add some white buttons to the side here, so we'll go ahead and put those there to see how it looks. This is really kind of hard to see with the same background, the wood grain. So I'm going to slip a piece of paper underneath of here so we can see it a little better and see what we think. Decisions, decisions. I'm thinking this pink one looked cute. Let's try the purple. Oh, well, we'll wait on that purple, I think, and let it dry. I think we're just going to go with the pink here. So I'll go ahead and add a little tacky glue to the back of this. And then we'll go ahead and glue on the buttons as well. You can always add some ribbons or other embellishments you'd like to, but I think I'm just going to leave that one like that. And it just gives you an idea of some different ways to make some embellishments for your scrapbook or your junk journals or These can even be added to cards. I just really think it looks sweet with a little banner at the bottom. Well, I just want to thank you for joining me today. And if you end up making some like these, leave me a comment. Let me know.